By the numbers, Ian Thorpe is huge. 6 foot 5 inches tall, size 17 feet, 75-inch wingspan. But the numbers don't really tell the story. The noise does. William the Refrigerator Perry once famously said, "I've been big ever since I was little." And so it is with Thorpe, although big in a different way. At 15, he became the youngest swimmer ever to win a world championship. In an island nation where 95% of the population lives within 10 miles of the sea, swimming matters. And so Thorpe became, as one writer called him, the great wet hope. And did he ever deliver?
Ian Thorpe has a new world record, and this time it's for Olympic gold.
In Sydney, he won gold on day one, and then helped Australia beat the United States in a relay America had never lost. Now Thorpe didn't so much swim through water as walk on it.
Hey, Thorpe.
Good to see you again, Angels. Now, let's get down to business.
So imagine the national convulsion when the torpedo misfired.
First tonight, the shock disqualification of Olympic champion Ian Thorpe.
At the Australian Olympic trials this year, he seemingly false-started himself right out of the 400-meter field in Athens, an event he hadn't lost anywhere in 7 years. He fell in. The Prime Minister weighed in.
I think it's a tragedy.
And Australia's world seemed to cave in. It was, in a word, big.
I'm always surprised by the commotion that anything led to, the attention that it receives. The second that I was disqualified from that event, I accepted I wouldn't be swimming that race in Athens.
Before a teammate surrendered his spot so the big man could swim here, you'd imagine Thorpe might have felt his world had ended. From so big to so gone in no time. But he'd learned 3 years earlier, on a holiday visit to New York, the size and shape of real tragedy.
For some reason, I was meant to experience this.
Thorpe was in Lower Manhattan on September 11th, 2001.
You know, whether it was to shape my mindset or whether it was to allow me to see that kind of devastation, I don't know. But, you know, I think it's something through that experience later in my life and even, you know, now that I'm using and that I can get something from it because I learned from that. I saw the good in people in the face of what was the worst in people.
For most Americans, Thorpe's fame elsewhere is like watching an Oscar-winning film, but in a different language. Maybe we have a vague understanding of the artistry, but we really don't get it. Something is lost in translation. But should he continue winning, and at age 21 he's presumably got plenty of mileage left, no subtitles will be needed for any and all to understand the Olympic legacy which will define him. One little word: big. Thorpe says he hasn't been able to walk unaccosted down the streets of anywhere in Australia since he was 15 years old. However, Bob, he did say that on his visit to New York, nobody recognized him, no matter where he went in Manhattan.
Well, that's surprising, and the change in him is notable since Sydney, now at age 21. Very self-possessed. Thanks a lot, Jimmy. We'll see you tomorrow night. Ian Thorpe now determined to regain his unofficial title as world's greatest swimmer, and the torpedo will be in the pool in the 400-meter freestyle next when we come back to Athens.
Chevrolet, proud sponsor of the 2004 U.S. Olympic team.
Time for the second final of the night here at the Olympic pool. The men's 400-meter freestyle final, and has the swimming world and all of Australia been waiting for this one. Ian Thorpe, the defending gold medalist and the world record holder in this event.
Nobody's been close to him in this, his signature event in the last 6 years, Dan.
And it just adds to the whole publicity thing in Australia. There's Craig Stevens, the man that decided to drop out of this event after he finished second to Grant Hackett in the Australian Olympic trials after the unbelievable falling off of the blocks by Ian Thorpe, which caused his disqualification. So he is here because Stevens gave him the spot. Let's check the lane assignments. Spiridon Yaniotis of Greece in lane 1. Another Greek in the finals here. They're in each of the 3 finals tonight. Swam his personal best this morning. In lane 2 is Cleat Keller of the United States. Bronze in this event in Sydney. Set an American record at the trials. Figures to be in the hunt. Larson Jensen in lane 3. More of a medal threat in the 1500 for the United States, but he swam well this morning as well. There is Grant Hackett, the top qualifier. And if Thorpe is not on his game at these Olympics, this guy could steal the show from Thorpe, who you see there. And by the way, the last guy to beat Thorpe in this event, Hackett, 7 years ago when Thorpe was 14 years old. Lane 6, Mazzi Rosolino of Italy, the silver medalist behind Thorpe 4 years ago, now 26 years old. Lane 7, Yuri Prilikov of Russia, 6th at the Worlds last year in this event. And in lane 8, Takeshi Matsuda of Japan, surprise finalist in this field, who also swam the 200 fly and the 1500 free. But the man is Ian Thorpe. And he's on block number 5, just below Hackett. You really can't overstate the great way that Hackett has been swimming, Rowdy, as of late. 8 lengths of the pool to decide the medals in the men's 400-meter freestyle.
Well, if Michael Phelps was a sure bet in the 400 IM, you almost have to say that Ian Thorpe is a sure bet here. Now, Grant Hackett will go out fast. He's right above Thorpe in that full-body suit. They're right there in the middle of those 2 yellow lanes. Thorpe on the bottom, Hackett on top. And Hackett will do as much as he can to stay with Thorpe early on. He likes to set the pace early, Hackett does. And Thorpe really likes to burn and attack that third 100.
After the first 50, it was Thorpe, slight lead over Hackett. Keller of the United States in lane 2 was in 4th, but again, they're pretty bunched up early in this race.
Well, Cleat Keller, you see him up toward the top of your screen, like you said, in lane 2, Dan. This is what he needs to do. He needs to attack this race early. If he's going to have a chance to medal, even be in the hunt for perhaps a silver, he's got to go out early and keep sight of Thorpe and Hackett to his left. Now, he breezed to his left, and he'll be able to see those 2 guys going down this time. Now, he breezed to the other side coming back. That could be a little bit of hindrance as the race goes along.
Well, Keller has moved into the 2nd position. Hackett is in 1st, and Thorpe is now in 3rd. We'll see the way they stack up as they head to the 150-meter mark. And in lane 2, Cleat Keller of the United States has the lead. Now, that bodes pretty well. This guy's a pretty strong, gutsy finisher, isn't he, Rod?
You know what I like about this with Cleat Keller? Not so much Thorpe, because I still think Thorpe's got a lot left in the tank. But it bodes well for Grant Hackett, because I think Cleat Keller and Grant Hackett are fairly equal here this last 200. Keller might have spun his wheels a little bit too much that second 100, but he's looking in pretty good position right now.
All right, let's check out the way they stack up right now. Thorpe has regained control of the race. Keller is in 2nd, and Hackett in lane 4 is in 3rd. So the Torpedo, can he go back-to-back goals in this event? He electrified the crowd in Sydney on the opening night there. But Cleat Keller of the United States, 2nd from the top.
Yeah, he's starting to tighten up. Bit. He's starting to tighten up. I can tell Cleat Keller, he's up there in lane number 2. He's tightening up just slightly enough to where the other swimmers are starting to pass by him. You can see Rosolino. That also may present a problem. Rosolino right there, because Cleat Keller can't even see him. Now, he looks right there. He's in pretty good position. Grant Hackett does, and Thorpe now really attacking that third 100, just what I thought he'd do.
They get set to make the turn for the final 100 meters. All of Australia anxious for these games to begin. Even though Ian Thorpe has 4 Olympic medals, there has been talk that Michael Phelps is now the best all-around swimmer in the world. Thorpe wants to disprove that theory at these games. So it's Thorpe in 1st, Hackett in 2nd.
Hackett's riding his hip, though, Dan. Look at that. He's moved right over there against that lane line. What he's trying to do is catch as much of a draft as possible against Ian Thorpe and hope by any stretch of the imagination to be able to slingshot by Thorpe. But I just just don't think it happened. But he had a wonderful turn there, Grant Hackett did. He pulled up right close to Ian Thorpe.
Then Hackett chased down his countryman, Ian Thorpe, with a gold medal on the line. Up above, Clete Keller looks like he's in great position for another bronze medal in this 400 freestyle. Torpedo with just about 20 meters left. Looks like he's going to have enough to hang on to win it. In lane 5, it's Ian Thorpe. Back-to-back goals in it as Australia goes 1-2. And Keller gets the bronze again. .343.1. And Clete Keller has his second straight bronze.
And an American record to boot.
But a statement made by Australia earlier in the night in the 400 IM. You can see how emotional Thorpe is. So much invested in these games.
I have never seen that come from Ian Thorpe.
People in Australia, you know, doubting him, especially since he changed coaches back in 2002. And Craig Stevens, the man that let Thorpe race this race.
He's had a long 6 months, Ian Thorpe has. The trials were a long time ago, and this has been building over and over again. You see Ian Thorpe right there. Watch him come off that last turn. He could be a little bit better streamlining. That's why Hackett was so good, because he streamlined him much better, but he sets up his stroke so much better out front. Here's Clete Keller way up at the top. Did he do a splendid job or what? Getting in there, he was right there the entire way. He's only a second behind Ian Thorpe's final time, Dan, and an American record and another bronze for Clete Keller.
So, an emotional reaction that we have never really seen from Ian Thorpe. Swimming in his second Olympic Games at the age of 21. So Australia goes 1-2. Keller gets the bronze, and the United States goes 3 and 4. So good start for the United States. But it's Australia that refocuses the attention on the Aussies, as Thorpe and Hackett go a strong 1-2 in the men's 400 meter free.